What's up, guys? The Foxwolf here, and welcome to Mr. GLOAT Podcast, episode 32, ladies and gentlemen. Whoo boy! I might not have a happy day, ladies and gentlemen, but considering what happened yesterday and Happy Halloween, well, I can't argue. It's not like how I got that crazy rainstorm a couple days ago on the 30th, one day before Halloween. I thought to myself, oh, it'll be a good day. Well, consider it's now November the 1st as recording this, it's going to be interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, speaking about interesting, this one hits the cake, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, I do have an interesting computer here that I already have my information. The problem is I had to restart my computer. But I thought to myself it might take 5 or 10 minutes to get that computer rolling. So you know what I'm going to do, guys? Well, before I get all my information, talk about the topics of boxing and other sports. Well, just boxing in this episode, because for the next 45 minutes, because I was expecting to do a half an hour of this podcast, I'm just going to show you viewers a little bit of a video while we're doing this. And before I get my computer set up, talk about the Japanese boxers and a woman retiring from boxing. Guys, you know, every time I put WWE 2K video games, Friday the 13th, etc., on my videos, doing the GLOAT Podcast videos, I do that to entertain you viewers, thinking, hey, this will be really fun watching these matches while you're hearing Foxwolf talking about the topics he's doing. And I thought it was entertaining. But you know what, guys? I don't even talk about him. So, guys, this is going to be the first time I'm going to do it. I'm going to review the match of the month. And to be honest, guys, this might be match of the year of WWE 2K. Whether it's 2K19, 2K18, 14, 22, 20, it doesn't matter. This match is 2K match of the year of 2024. Violet Parr versus Dash Parr in WWE 2K19 by YouTuber Hot Superheroine Marvel versus DC. Go subscribe. He is one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. And this match took place on October the 30th, 2 days ago, and the story goes as this. So the story goes is that Elastic Girl defeated her husband on January the 20th, after he held on to the belt since November the 4th to January the 20th for 76 days. Elastic Girl defeated her husband, held it for 143 days since January the 20th, and then her son Dash beated her on June 11th this year, with holding the belt for 141 days, 2 days less than her mother. But now her sister wants to fight for the belt. But I think someone said that Dash disagreed. He didn't want her sister to win, and her sister didn't want to lose. So, yeah. Guys, you know every time people say matches are manipulated, predetermined, this person loses, wrestling's fake. But sometimes, guys, when you have two wrestlers disagreeing with each other, that makes WWE real. And that's what I love about professional wrestling, is because you don't know whether it's real or not. And this match right here was real. And I'll tell you why this is match of the year, match of the month. Go, guys, please go. Guys, I don't ask for subscribers. I don't tell you people to go subscribe to this person, but go shout out to Hot Super Heroine Marvel versus DC. I love the dude. He's a great guy, and I like him. So he's great. Well, as a friend. So, yeah. Dash has held on for the belt for 141 days. His mother, 143 days. Mr. Incredible, 76 days. And Violet wants to win a piece of her. So the families have won all the belts of the Mixed War title. Mixed War title, the match is 10 minutes. So the rule is, guys, it's a 10-minute Iron Man match, submission match. Most submissions is the winner. And also countouts are allowed, which means you get counted out, the other person gets a point if you're back in the ring. So the match starts out quickly with Violet throwing a crazy low blow kick, and then after she did the low blow, picks her up for a half powerbomb RKO, kicks him in the back, and then she puts the leg lock on him. I don't know if you call it a leg lock, guys. Please don't be upset if I get these things wrong. I don't know everything about moves. And Dash gets back up, doesn't hesitate to land on her, punch her multiple times, and then try to kick her in the butt. And then he goes for a wild dancing combination of almost like a Muhammad Ali punch, right punch, knockout from upstairs. And then he puts on a reverse half submission armbar, however you call it. Ronda Rousey has done that move a few times, but the armbar I know is a lot different. But Violet gets out of it, and At this moment, we're 1 minute into the match, and yeah, she goes for a super kick, but then goes for a low kick. It seemed like Dash was hesitating for what she was going to do next. But she goes for another half power bomb RKO again. And then, before you know it, she tries to pick up his legs, but he kicks it back. And then he gets out of the ring, gets a Triple H sledgehammer. Ooh, this is going to be crazy. He misses. Violet kicks it out of his hand, and then she goes for a crazy, ooh, it looked like he was going to drop his body on the hammer, but doesn't. And then she goes back for the leg lock again, but Dash said nope. He just got out of that move twice, and it wasn't even a few seconds. So it seemed like, I don't know if Violet was happy about that, but he also kicked her in the shin. And Violet throws for a super kick and then miss, and then, oh, Dash kicks her in the shin again, and Violet's upset. Dash hesitated again for some reason, and then Violet went for the third super kick, connected, and then threw to her right behind and landed, and went for another leg lock. And again, we weren't even 5 seconds into it. Dash no-sold it. At this moment, it seemed like Dash was upset, so he kicked her in the shin a bunch of times. And Violet didn't like it, so she went for a crazy move, but Dash reversed it, but then Violet no-sold it back, picked him up and did this crazy move, whatchamacallit. I thought it was Beth Phoenix's finisher move back in the days. And then she goes for my second favorite submission move, the camel clutch. Well, my favorite submission is Boston Crab, only for women. But Dash no-sells it, he gets out of the way, reverses it, and then Violet tries to throw him in the turnbuckle, but Dash got out of it. Mostly he reversed another move on Violet, and then he threw her to the turnbuckle, and then he jumped over the rope, elbowed her, ow, and then went for a 619 off one of the corner rings. Let me know in the comments if that has happened in real life. I want to see video of that. Violet gets back up. As for Dash, goes for Muhammad Ali, punch, right punch upstairs, out. But Violet gets back up and just elbows him in a reverse. Oh my gosh, these two are not like each other. And then she went for a crazy knee kick. And then she picks him up and then puts him near one of the ropes. And then he throws him near the other side of the rope. I thought she was going to clothesline him, but she slides under him, goes for a hurricanrana, and then she puts the leg lock for the fourth time, and it looked like Dash really got hurt. She really squeezed his head so much. It looked like his ears popped because he tapped out. Yeah, that might have hurt. She stepped on his head or his face, and she just steamrolled him over the sledgehammer. Ow, did a half John Cena finish. Whatchamacallit again. I apologize if I don't know these names. I'm sorry. And then she she elbows him on the back, does a push-ups on him. Dude, as a young brother, seeing your sister doing push-ups on his back, yeah, not good. So he reverses it and slams her face first, and then she picks her back up and slams her again on her face. Ow, that scared her hurt. And then he waits for the move. He does the Muhammad Ali punch. Oh, knockout again, man. And then he goes for another submission armbar, and Violet this time really felt pain there. And now the score is 1-1. We're yeah. And then they get back up. We're now 5 minutes into this 10-minute match. 5 minutes down, 5 minutes to go. He also kicked her in the low blow, hit her. He was going to go for the Muhammad Ali, and Violet said, "No way, Jose." Violet kicked him straight in the face without warning her brother when he was going to do the Muhammad Ali move again. Then they get back up, this or that. He reverses, throws her into the turnbuckle, as you just saw, and he just slapped her in the bra and did a cartwheel and then kicked her in the face. Man, him doing the Muhammad Ali move as Violet kicked him midway through before doing the jabs again, that was a shoot. She gets back up and reverses, clotheslines him from hell, and at this moment, she tried to clothesline him over the ring but misses, so he just she just grabs him and throws him off the ring. She then goes to the rope and then beneath it to the second middle and lands on him. Now they're in the outside rope, kicks him in the leg again, and at this moment she's twisting his arm and then stomps on it. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And at the count of three, because it's a 5 count, and if you're in the ring for outside for too long, and then Violet elbows him, picks him up again for that. Oh, gotta hurt again. Oh, brother. And then the referee checks on him because at this moment, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left of the match. It's still 1-1. And as for all that, Violet's waiting for something. She puts the leg lock on him again and squeezes it again. And yeah. Ooh, Dash knew that was going to hurt. Even stepped on his face again and did that cart steamroll again. Whew. Man. Man, Violet did not want to lose. Even though they booked Dash to win this match, Violet did not want to lose. She even pounded him on the back and the butt again, put her hands on his back and his butt, and just did push-ups. Like, man, how disrespectful for a sister to do that. And Dash didn't like it. He just slammed her on the face first again, and this just did the submission armbar. But I was shocked that Violet got out of that move for how crazy she did. Picks him up, does a UFC slam, and that's all she wrote. But Dash gets back up with a naked back, and he gets back, lands on her, and just throws multiple punches on her sister. Wow. Oh, hey, look. Yeah, he just throws multiple punches in her body, and she's out. Hey, my computer is working. Well, I guess it's time for me to record now. But now he puts on the submission armbar, and she taps out. 1 minute, 55 seconds left of the match. At this moment, my computer is ready. And then she picks him up and does for this crazy slamming. Ah, that's gotta hurt. Ouchie. She takes her time, picks him up, gonna do for something, but Dash reverses it. I didn't know if she was gonna go for the leg lock again. And then Dash was gonna do a Muhammad Ali move again, but Violet said, I'm not selling that. Throws him to the rope and knees him in the back. He gets out of the ring, and then Violet is just kicking her brother so hard. Like, these kicks and pounds, the score is 2-2, and Violet is hurting her brother so much. Like, oh god, that might be the end of Dash. With 1 minute 5 seconds left, he's been taking a huge beating right now, no matter how much she tried to hurt her sister, but her sister is hurting him more than she is. She spanks him in the back with the elbow push-ups. She's just embarrassing her brother so much. My gosh. She gets him up. Oh, kick in the knee. I don't want to watch this. Oh no. Oh, right in the rope. Jeez. Wow. Goes for the leg lock submission again. 30 seconds. Oh, Dash is feeling pain. Oh boy, he taps out. The score's 3-2. Oh, back in the face again. Oh, she's doing this move again. Oh my gosh. Oh, stop it. Just stop the match. Stop the match. Stop the match. This is horrific. Oh, jeez. Grabs him, and then Dash reverses, but at this moment the match is over, so he tries to go for a Muhammad Ali move again, but for some reason that happened, but oh boy. Yeah, this is match of the month of October. This might be match of the year. Dude, this is one of the greatest 2K matches of 2024 in October, and I loved every bit of it. Violet Parr earned, this match was so deadly for either of them. I'm surprised that they're still standing up, and Violet and Dash really hurt each other a lot. But man, whew, at this moment, guys, Mr. Incredible won that belt in November 4th last year. Violet won it this year, January the 20th. Dash got it June 11th, and October the 30th, Violet Parr. That's 361 days of the Incredibles holding on to this title. That is an amazing accomplishment. The Incredible family, the Incredibles are just that good of a family. They're great, and they are the best. And you gotta prove it right here. Like that right there is match of the year. Like you just that there might be match of the month right now, and I only have a couple more months to know which is the match of the year because that was one good match I enjoyed. Yeah. Anyway, guys, now my computer is finally back. It finally worked for a few minutes, so now I get to now search on and see what we can find because I have a lot to show for you viewers. A lot. So, guys, as reporting, guys, as for surprisingly enough, because this, I was completely blinded by this, and guys, I was really shocked that this was happening because I actually was really shocked that this was just the case of just this did not look real, but yeah, it was real because this was really a shocking twist. So the information goes, guys. Last week ago on sports.yahoo.com stated Senicia Estrada's boxing undisputed strawweight champion, which I call her minimum weight champion, excuse me, had retired at the age of 32, announcing her retirement from the sport last Wednesday. Exciting boxing, 26-0, 9 knockouts. Estrada held the champion in 2 divisions, including the WBO World Junior Flyweight title and strap, and the undisputed title. And at this moment, she would have been a more up and coming champion by the minute. She would have been more of a champion than she is. But yeah, yet again, guys, it is what it is. So yeah. And also, guys, on Los Angeles, California, of Senicia Superbad, Dear Boxing, thank you for 23 years of ups and downs, for 23 years of the worst and best years of my life. Thank you for giving me life. Thank you for giving me the chance to inspire others, but I know I won't miss you. No regrets, I did all I could. Today it ends at 26-0. I thank my fans, friends, and family, my promoter, Bob Arum, Top Rank. Thank you for the opportunity to accomplish my goals and treating me with class. Most of all, my team, we did everything we imagined I would do and more as a woman in a male-dominated sport. It's been one wild ride. Thank you for standing by me. I hope that my style of fighting is one that people will remember forever. Only God knows how long I've been contemplating this decision. Physically and mentally, I can't continue anymore. I thank God for helping me feel at peace, peace in my heart and peace in my soul. I feel happy to continue life without boxing. After 23 years of constant dedication, I know that I am more than an athlete. I know that Senicia is a name people will continue to hear about. I know that I will shine bright at whatever I choose to do next. With love forever, super bad, Senicia Estrada. That, at this moment, guys, I don't blame her for retiring. Because at this moment, at 32 years old, 12 years in the sport, and 23 years, she started at 9 years old. Which I actually knew. Don't get me wrong. I don't think retiring at that age is a bad thing. It's like I said before, guys, if you're in your mid-20s and mid-30s at 25 to 35 years old and you're in heavyweight boxing, that's your prime. If you're in your early 20s, you still need more to learn, and Daniel Dubois had a lot to learn, but if you're in your mid-35 years old or getting older, the odds of you being in that heavyweight contendership is more lower than you think. Makes you barely past your prime. So when you're in your mid-30s, it's hard to become champion. But in a minimum weight, due to your body, if you were a minimum weight type person in boxing, like Senicia Estrada at 100 to 110 pounds in the middle of that weight class, that's even a crazy challenge if you're a real small person. Sometimes your body might not handle it. And at the age of 9 years old, starting at that time and ending it at 32 years old, yeah, might not be that healthy as much. So it's probably for the best for her to retire. I don't think a lot of people remember her as much as I don't think Sinicia is a name people will remember as much because she was a minimum weight fighter. But as the first ever, if you want to talk about who a minimum weight boxer is in the minimum weight division, and you might not know who's an undisputed champion, you might as well look up who Sinicia is. And her win, she did, well, you know, last March the 29th against Yokasta Valley. It was a controversial win, yeah. And not only that, guys, like her professional career started back in May the 13th, 2011. And even though she fought a couple fights that year against nobodies, against a person with two losses, 2 draws, won that fight 2 months later, went against a person with 3 losses, 0 wins, and won both fights by decision. And then she left the sport. Then she came back in March the 14th, 2014, a full 2.5 years, almost 3 years, to fight against a woman she last fought in July. This time she had 1 win, 9 losses, and kicked her butt and knocked her out in round 2 of TKO. And then Sinicia did not come back full-time in professional boxing again until May the 16th of 2015. And that's when she started fighting full-time. So, yeah, there were ups and downs in the start of her career, but she did had to recover from that. And she did barely manage to win some fights, but she was never that much of a knockout person. And her early fights in 2015, her first couple fights in May, and she took on a debut fighter in August, and these fights in 2016, these 3 fights she fought against in April, June, and September were all decision fights in 6 rounds to 8 rounds. And there was a time back in April 2016 she took on Celino Lopez, a 3-4-3 fighter, and it stated in round 4 that Estrada had a swollen left eye. And it also stated on June the 3rd, another fighter that she fought against a 4-7-5 fighter stated that Estrada was knocked down in the 3rd round, but her opponent was deducted 1 point for hitting Estrada while down in round 3. So that, I wouldn't think a knockout was that much, but yeah, that's pretty much. So she did have interesting hard problems. She did took on a 15-9-2 fighter that September, as I just said before, so yeah. But in 2017, after wrangling up another few fights in June the 22nd, July the 21st, and September the 9th, with one fighter that was no more than just 3 losses in her career, and she got, well, knocked down twice in round 2, and the count was waved off after the fight, but on BoxRec it said the fight ended at 38 seconds in the 1st round, so take that for what you will. Then won the other 2 fights by decision. Her other fight was a journeyman of Anai Torres, a woman with 15 wins, 16 losses, and 1 draw. And yet again, she was a large journeyman type fighter that never had nothing to handle in her career because she lost multiple fights in her early years during the 2000s and 2010s. And mostly, yeah, can't say much about that story with her and Estrada, and yeah, considering that was one of the fights people were questioned by. But yet again, I didn't think nothing of it, and I was never interested in Estrada at this point because she never had a lot to gain. But back in 2018, she finally managed to squeak out another win against 11-4-1 fighter, got a win there, and she took on a 1-6 fighter in May, a month and a half later, got a round 3 TKO. Then in July, she fought against someone with 6 wins, 7 losses, finished her in round 3 by KO. Then she scored another round 3 TKO for the WBC Silver Light Flyweight title against Deborah Rengifo. And, man, she started winning knockouts at this moment by this time, because by 2019 to 2020, she was obliterating competition. She won against Jennifer Leon, a 9-1 fighter, which might have been her first legit interesting opponent. Knocked her out in the 1st round, and she didn't continue after the end of round 5, cornerman retirement. Even her next fighter that June also ended in a cornerman retirement after Estrada was cut by a left scalp from an accidental headbutt in round 2, but it didn't stop Annabelle after the end of round 4 when Annabelle, a woman named Abenil quit in her corner after the end of round 4. So yeah, she was doing a lot of crazy stuff. But this is when she started becoming a more bigger contender when Sinicia took on Marlon Esparza, 7-0, and she hurt her so much. The bout was stopped by the end of round 9 due to Esparza was badly cut from an accidental headbutt, so it went to the scorecards before the end of round 10. And the scorecards were 83, 88, 89, 82, 90, 81. Oh, brother. Sinicia wasn't much of a knockout person at the time, but man, when she was scoring them, she was doing them. And then in July 24th, 2020, well, yes, guys, we can all agree this fight was ridiculous. Miranda Adkins. Oh boy. Guys, so this fight was for the World WBC Silver Female Light Flyweight title. The title was also on the line by Miranda Adkins, IWA, whatchamacallit, what the heck that belt she was holding on at the time, that the WIBA International Female Light Flyweight title she won last October. Like, Miranda's resume were 4 fighters since September 2018 to April 2019, and those 4 fights were against all fighters in their debut. Her first fight was a 3rd round TKO in September 2018. A month later, on October 13th, 1st round TKO. The 3rd fight, January 11th, 2019, 1st round TKO. 2nd round TKO against Shania Ward in April the 20th, and then they had a rematch with Shania Ward again in October 26th after Shania lost another fight, making it 0-2. That was her 5th and final win, and that went 1st round TKO. And at this moment, guys, Shania was she started boxing when she was in her 40s. I'm seeing females like Kay Scott in the middleweight, and she's from Australia, and she's starting her pro career in her 40s as of right now. Yeah, not good. And Miranda Adkins, she's already supporting out her mother that's injured, and some fighter. Like, originally, Sinicia Estrada was supposed to take on another woman that night, but that woman got hurt, so Miranda Adkins took over for that fight. And when the fight started, Miranda just stayed still, waited for Sinicia to come after her, and Sinicia just threw multiple punches, and after the 6-second mark, bam, the last punch, down goes Miranda. Referee Edward Hernandez Sr. stopped it at 7 seconds. The quickest knockout in boxing history. And guys, you could say F.A. at Jagba and that Curtis Harper fight was the quickest fight because Curtis walked out of the ring and the fight ended in 1 second, but that was not even a knockout fight. So don't count that for nothing. This is the quickest knockout not in the men of boxing history because it's men's boxing and women. This is a women's fight. This is the quickest knockout of all time. That's ridiculous. And it happened on TV. Man. And after that fight, well, before you know it, guys, after that fight, she kind of got a little bit of notoriety due to that moment. So in March 20th, 2021, Sinicia fought against Annabelle Ortiz, which was the person I was supposed to say early on. Well, Annabelle got knocked down in the 1st round, and the rest of the other last rounds were all 10-round decisions for a non-title win. And then we talk about July the 9th, 2021, where Tenkai Tsunami, one of my most talked about female boxers, still in boxing today after 19 years, a multitude champion in all weight classes in her career as the greatest Japanese boxer, takes on Sinicia Estrada for the WBO World Light Flyweight title, and Sinicia stopped her in 10 rounds of unanimous decision. Surprisingly, guys, it wasn't over because later that December the 18th, she decided to strip the World Flyweight title at 108 pounds at her time, and she went down a few extra pounds to go back at 104.5 to take on Maria Michio Santizo in the minimum weight. And there was a non-title fight. She knocked her out. She was a 9-0 fighter, and Senicia knocked her out and finished in round 4 by KO. That was her 9th and final win. And at this moment, guys, is when, well, this is when all things became interesting, because at this moment, guys, this was the moment when she was already a champion in weight classes. That was the win. And then in this, November 12th, 2022, she took on a nobody fighter, 6-1-2, went 10 rounds, all points scored, and 3 judges. And then 2023 became her groundbreaking achievement. She fought for the WBC World Minimum Champion, just like after her WBA belt she had. So she defeated Tina Ruperchit, a 12-0-1 fighter, and Senicia dominated her in all 10 rounds. And sheesh, no one ever thought she was going to retire soon after that fight. I thought she was going to continue. And after she won her 25th fight in July the 28th against Paula Yudica, 19-1-3, and won that fight by scoring 3 judges, scoring it 97-93, all favored, barely, because considering Senicia, like her opponent won round 2 and mostly round 7, round 8, so there were times that she needed a lot more. And I actually thought Yudica won round 4, so I had it 96-94, but take that for what you will. And then the fight against Acosta, I don't have to talk about it. The fight went on March the 29th this year, and, well, she won that fight even though my score was a 96-94 score. Like, I had that fight scored with round 1, round 2, round 6, 7, 8, 9, all favoring Senicia. The other rounds, 3, 4, 5, and 10, were all Yokasta. Like, it was obvious. Like, yeah, we could talk about the moment where we had that headbutt and there were injuries coming out of Yokasta, and there were times that Senicia was cheating in that fight for some reason, giving herself an advantage after hurting Yokasta with illegal moments and illegal punches, and Yokasta's trainer was a little bit controversial about that. At the end of the day, yeah, that's probably the main reason why you have to be careful for fighters like that in the future. But can I question that? I really don't know. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So that's the whole story of her boxing career. Yeah, so that's, I know, guys, I didn't pronounce her entire professional career that properly. I'm sorry, I had a lot of stuttering there, but considering I'm 33 minutes into this, and God knows how long this podcast will be, I might as well get through all these topics as quick as I can. Like, yeah. Alright, guys, if I had another person or podcasting with me, like the Brian, Vinny, and Craig show, or the Deadlock podcast, or any other podcasts out there, I would have saved my energy for a lot more than rambling so much and without taking a breath. But yeah, this is what happens when I have a podcast, when it's just me operating this. Like, yeah, not healthy. But yeah, at the end of the day, Senicia Estrada, my final thought is she achieved a good amount of success for what she did. And like, as in the Mexican American from East LA, just like the famous movie Born in East LA, I do love that movie. Consider how, like I said before, also I did find the information here. She started boxing at the age of 8 years old and took part in over 100 amateur bouts and winning 97 of them and dropping just 4. Huh. She lost her first 3 contests in amateur ranks, and interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, okay, she boxed at 8, not 9 years old. Interesting. But anyway, guys, that's the entire career I have for Senicia. Now it's time for me to take a break, guys, and see what we have. Guys, remember when Junto Nakatani, like, at this moment, he fought 3 fights this year, and his opponents were, I wouldn't say mediocre fights. Like, Like, even though, guys, I did put Junto Nakatani at number 3 of my greatest pound for pounds, because, guys, there is a little bit of a voting process on BoxRec.com where it says you can make changes at any time, but you must press vote to be counted in this week um, as a pound for pound at any changes. I put Junto Nakatani at number 3, Canelo Alvarez at number 4, and Gervonta Davis at number 2, Alexander Usyk at number 5, and Naoya Inoue at number 1, Terrence Crawford at number 6, Artur Beterbiev at 7, David Benavidez at 8, Shakur Stevenson at number 10, and Jesse Rodriguez at number 9. You viewers can hate that if you don't like it. It's okay. I also, guys, as for the female pound for pound, if you want to know, Beatriz Ferraria, the women's lightweight champion, that's 5-0. I put her at number 10 because I think she had a lot more. She has more dangerous skills to handle with. She might not be better than Define Pursoon, Alicia Baumgartner, Chantel Cameroon, and Natasha Jones, Michaela Mayer. Like, she might not be that top level, or even Tekai Tsunami, as I said before, or Kenya Stephanie, and mostly Yokasta Valley. But yet again, I put her at number 10 as I think she has an interesting future of fighting a few years. I do have a feeling Beatriz, she is 31 years old, but consider for her 2 years in boxing, 5-0, 2 knockouts, and a couple of her fights have been bloodily dangerous. Like, I would say she can hurt opponents, and some of her resumes aren't that bad. And her next fight's in December the 12th against a maybe somebody fighter as a former IBF World Lightweight Champion, and, well, pretty much, she's at number 3. I think she deserves more respect, in my opinion. I think she has a dangerous body that she can hurt a lot of females in the division. And even though she might have maybe another 3 years left into her, I do have a feeling she has 5 years of boxing into her in 2022 to 2027. I think those years, those 5 years, I'm going to think, are going to be dangerous. So she might not be a medalist in the Olympics this year, but I think her professional is going to be more dangerous. I also put Fenari Netsiri, a super bantamweight boxer from Germany, born in the country of Bangkok, Thailand. She's 15-0, and even though she's a former she's a WBF World Super Bantamweight Champion, Women's IBF World Super Bantamweight, which some people think the WIBF is a major belt. People think the WIBA is a major for women, so take that for what you will. And some of her resumes might be interesting. I think we have to give credit that Netsiri, this woman, the Diamond Faye Fenari, apologize for that. Considering I put her at number 9, I think there's a lot of people ignoring her. I want to give her more respect than I think other people aren't, because she kind of deserves more of the spotlight, and I don't think no one is giving her that credit. So, yeah, just like Beatrice Ferrari, yeah, we need more to see about Fenari. Yeah. Gabrielle Fundora is number 8 as a 14-0 undefeated fighter in the flyweight, and considering I put her at number 8, I do want to see a little bit more, but even though she's 22 years old, IBF World Flyweight Champion, WB, and she is fighting for the WBC and WBO belt against Gabrielle Celeste Alanis on November the 2nd, so who knows if she's going to win that fight, because she's 22 years old. I don't think she's up to the task of winning that fight, but yet again, the sweet poison, does she have a chance as a southpaw fighter? 14 wins, 6 knockouts. Yet again, she's fought for 3 years. The opponent she's fighting against is somewhat of an Argentina fighter with 6 knockouts, 15 wins, and her one and only loss was against a fighter named Marlon Esparza, one of the fights that Senicia Estrada beat early in her career. And even though even though Gabriella won in a rematch against Marlin last April the 27th, also in the, uh, well, yes, mostly. I don't think no one has to talk about it, but yet again, I don't know, but Gabriella might have a chance to up the ante of that win. Or Celeste Alanis might actually take that number 8 spot and she might be out of the pound for pound. So I want to give Gabriella a chance to see if she has what it takes. Number 7 is Mizuki Hiruta, super flyweight champion, WBO, 6-0 from Japan. I think she, just like Beatriz Ferraria and Fanarai, I think she does have a lot of interesting stuff into her boots, and I think she deserves an extra chance to see if she knows what she can do. So I want to give her a chance, 6-0. I think she's a killer. But number 6 is Ellie Scottney. Now, guys, the only time I've heard of this woman is when she took on Cherneka Johnson. She dominated that 10-round fight. The time days after Cherneka showed her thong in the weigh-in for that famous moment when they did the weigh-in, and you had this ugly woman of Ellie Scottney, this 26-year-old that didn't have a pretty face. She looked like an old high school teacher. Yeah, taking on Cherneka Johnson with his beautiful body, and Ellie killed her, and it made the fan base pissed off. Technically, I don't like this woman, but yet again, she's number 5 in the super bantamweight, and to be honest, I think she's more of a dangerous pound for pound boxer than anyone like Nazarena Romeo or Erika Cruz Hernandez and so on, because those females might not be better than Ellie Scottney, but yet again, Ellie might be more dangerous than anyone else. That's what I think, and that's why I put her at number 6. She's a 9-0 fighter, super bantamweight. She might be more dangerous than anyone else. Number 5, Sky Nicholson, featherweight champion. She's 12-0. That's all I could say. Give her some time. She might be out, but yet again, as an Australian, I gotta give her credit. Katie Taylor, light welterweight champion. I put her at number 4, while I put Amanda Serrano at number 3. I do think Amanda might win that fight, but I did once said this in a comment stating that I don't think Amanda should do this. I think Amanda should just step up to the welterweight and fight for her 8th weight class to become the first woman to become an 8 weight class and tie with Manny Pacquiao for 8 weight class divisions. Even if she doesn't win against Kay Taylor, I think she should just step down and just go up to another weight class, because maybe her body can handle that weight. Because I do think she deserves more of a chance, but I am giving Amanda Serrano a lot more of an expectation to go for this rematch against Katie Taylor, just for the heck of it. Katie Taylor is still recovering from her first loss and her rematch win against Chantel, and that's all I have to say. Number 2, Dina Thorslund. Yet again, this woman, bantamweight, 23-0. I don't think she's the best, but after 9 years in pro, since 2015 to this year, 31 years old, I don't think she's much of a champion, but she does had a lot of expectations in boxing for the last few years since her WBO super bantamweight win in 2018. Ever since her dangerous win against a long-time formed-out journeyman fighter of Alicia Ashley in 2018, did bring up the pages a lot more about her more than ever. So she might bring up something interesting. She has taken on a lot of records and resumes and interesting wins. 23 wins, 9 knockouts. Good luck with her. And of course, guys, my number 1 pick is Clarissa Shields, 15-0. Guys, guys, number 1. Clarissa Shields is number 1. Like, what else do you want me to say? Clarissa Shields has killed everything, and after her light heavyweight title wins, and now being a friggin' 5-time weight class champion, is there anything we can say about Clarissa Shields? She's a legend. Guys, she's unstoppable. There's nothing you can do with Clarissa Shields. She's a killer. She's a god. Well, to not take that in concept, but I'm just saying, like, she might not be unstoppable for long, but as for now, yeah, like, this is what boxing is. She's that good. You just can't take that away from Clarissa Shields. She's that good. Anyway, considering we only have 15 minutes left until the 1 hour mark, let's just talk about the final two topics as of right now. So, guys, remember about Junto Nakatani? Like I was about to say about 10 or so minutes ago before I got picked up about this pound for pound vote on BoxRec. Go on if you want to vote. Oh yeah, is there people's pound for pound? Yeah, people's pound. Yeah, wow, people's pound for pound are almost different than my update. Interesting. But yes, guys, by the way, some people's pound for pound think that Junto Nakatani is at number 8, even though I put him at number 3, because I try to give him an extra chance because he's that dangerous of a fighter. Yes, his wins against Alexander Santiago are somewhat okay for the time being, and then his Vincent Estrelobio win, and then his Tasana Salapat win last October. Like guys, I don't think Junto Nakatani is ready to take on Naoya Inoue. And if Naoya Inoue is saying that he'd rather stay in the right weight class where his body is up to full-time Naoya Inoue, I don't blame him if he doesn't want to take on Gervonta Davis. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to. Because, guys, the super bantamweight and the lightweight division are far away from each other. They're in their next door across the street from each other from the featherweight division. So if Naoya Inoue doesn't want to fight there, he doesn't have to. You don't have to judge him just because he doesn't want to fight in America. Yeah, I don't like that, but it is what it is. Because, guys, like, Junto Nakatani is in the bantamweight, Inoue is in the super bantamweight, featherweight, super featherweight, and lightweight, which are the other weight classes. Lightweight's Gervonta Davis. So you don't have to take him on if you want to. At this moment, if Naoya Inoue wants to stay in the super bantamweight, defend out the titles, he could do that if he wants to go featherweight. And if Junto Nakatani fights better competition or fights his Japanese fighters instead to give him up a good leverage, just so he could go up the weight class against super bantamweight of Naoya Inoue in 2026, I think he's ready to take him on. I just don't think Junto Nakatani is ready to fight him in 2025. If he wants to fight better competition, he has to fight competition a lot better than Vincent, Tasana, or Alexander Santiago like he did this year. Because Naoya Inoue's fights have been a lot more better. Like, May the 6th, he takes out Luis Nure, comes back from a knockout, he knocks him out, and then wins in round 6. He takes on TJ Dahoney, which he's an undefeated boxer in Japan, but yeah, Inoue took care of him, and Dahoney did show heart and a lot of interesting stuff there. But again, it was a much better fight than Junto Nakatani's fights a little bit this year. And now he's taking on Sam Goodman. That's in the top number 1 in other categories. So, like, why not say to yourself that he can fight Sam Goodman now? Like, guys, Sam Goodman, dude, he's number 3 in the super bantamweight, and the person that's number 2 is John Real Casimero, and people don't think that would be a good fight for Inoue because Casimero might not handle it, and I kind of agree. Goodman's 26 years old, Inoue's 31, so this can bring up a good basis for a fight. Like Sam Goodman took on a couple undefeated fighters in his first year at 1-0 to 7-0 in his third professional fight. He took on other fighters with interesting records. He was an Australian National Boxing Federation Australasian featherweight title in 2021. He even destroyed multitude of other fighters and winning other belts of WBO Oriental, IBF, Intercontinental, and other super bantamweight belts. With he's that dangerous. Like, so Sam Goodman has shown himself, but after 2023 in March when he defeated TJ Dahoney in 10 rounds, which was another good win for that, even though Sam Goodman dominated all those 10 rounds barely and defeated TJ Dahoney barely, proving something there. Barely won a split decision fight against Riaz Alim by 12-round split decision, 2020 20-0 fighter in June. Went October, take on, and then suddenly by October, December, and March, his other 3 fights in 2023 and 2024, they were just easy fights to take on. He takes on nobody. Took on 19-0 Zhang Liu, Chinese fighter, won that fight dominatingly, and then defeated maybe a somebody fighter in March, and then this month in July he took on 0-1 fighter, won that fight, and so Sam Goodman's barely keeping himself together. He's rated in the top ranking, so 19 wins, 8 knockouts. I wouldn't say that's much good. I wouldn't say it's much of a good fight on paper, but considering he deserves to be in the ranks because he had to claw his way from barely winning fights, going through decision, winning international titles that were minor weight belts. Sam Goodman deserves a title fight, and I actually like this fight on paper. It's going to take place on December the 24th this year. It's going to be Nalia's third fight. There's other fights that are going to happen that night, but nothing much will be talked about except the WBO World Bantamweight title against Yoshiki Taki, because he's 10-0, 28 years old, and he's trying to find a fighter that he wants to fight against because his last win last September the 3rd against Daigo Higa was a close fight that he almost lost. He barely won that fight by two judges giving him a 114 and 113. The other's 115 and 112. So, yeah, take that for what you will. And mostly, like at this moment, considering those are the only two world title fights we have, undisputed super bantamweight and the WBO bantamweight, yet again, I see not a lot of stuff happening, but yet again, I will tell you this. Because we have an Australian and a Japanese fighter, both from south to north, in the middle, of the Eastern world, it's going to be interesting of what we are seeing here, because I think when you viewers look at this from a light, the perspective is that whoever wins wins. But yet again, Sam Goodman, I could say he could bring out an upset victory against Naoya Inoue if he can find those marks that what Louis Nure did to Inoue last May. But I digressed, because it could be just another mismatched fight. But don't judge the book by looking at the cover, because like I said before about Clarissa Shields, she's an unstoppable foe, but she might not be for long. But yet again, she might be, but not for long. So we do have to be careful whether if this will be another interesting fight. And if Sam Goodman does win the fight, will that affect Naoya Inoue's success in life? Even if he actually fights in a rematch against Sam Goodman and wins, my God, that would be another legendary fight to talk about. Man, they won a rematch and he became another undisputed champion again, depending if they stripped one of the title belts, like what happened to the heavyweight division, because we have, well, Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury fighting this December, but the IBF belt is gone, so again, take that for what you will. But yeah, all I can say is this: we have a lot of title fights happening right now. We have a lot. We have a lot of titles happening. So guys, let's just keep this in mind for the fights that are happening this November. So guys, November the 2nd, like I said, Gabrielle Fundora taking on Gabriela Celesti as for the the world flyweight titles. Robson Katsikau will take on Sharkyu Foster for the WBC World Super Featherweight title, which will take place not in Nevada, which is where that women's titles fights are taking place. This one's going to take place in the Stone Resort Casino in Vernon, New York. Both of these fights are taking place the same night. Yeah. Also, Liam Davis is fighting for the IBO World Super Bantamweight title against Shabazz Massoud in UK. Yeah, again, it's a minor belt. Also, Chantel Cameroon is trying to fight in that same venue as well against another fighter for the WBC interim super lightweight title. So good luck with her if they can fight it. Um, Also, WBF Foundation belts taking place in Australia from two other nobody guys. Good luck with whoever's going to win that fight. We also have the WBF World Cruiserweight title for the Federation of Artur Man taking on Ion Millet Desrobitu, a guy that's 8-0, and he's taking on Artur Man, 21-4. And he's from Romania, while Artur Man is born in Kazakhstan but living in Germany. So, and Artur Man, I have talked about, was the guy that lost against Muslim Gadzhimagomedov, WBA Bridgerweight title. Yeah, the guys, November the 2nd is going to have a lot of minorweight titles that are just coming out of crazy town. That's how crazy it is. And also on November the 7th in Canada, we have a number 4 fighter ranked right now in the World Super Middleweight for the IBO World Super Middleweight title against Australis Iglias, taking on Petro Ivanov. Good luck to see who's going to win that fight. IBF World Welterweight fight will take place on November the 9th in Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with Jaron Enos taking on Karen Chakadzian. Mostly that will be an interesting fight. Jesse Rodriguez, like I said before, he's taking on Pedro Guevara on November the 9th in Wells Fargo again, and same venue for the WBC World Super Flyweight title. And by the way, guys, I don't know if any of these fights are WBA because I'm looking this up on BoxRec, and as of right now, the WBA still has none of the information of WBA. I don't know why BoxRec got rid of the WBA, so don't hate me if I'm forgetting everything. Yeah. And then as for all that going down, whether there's anything else to talk about, because at this moment we're already 57 minutes into this podcast and this is already my last topic, but I'll get through it as best I can. On November the 9th in Brugerhaus in Nordrhein Westfalen, Germany, we have the GBC World Heavyweight title against Alan Loriol taking on Reza Beidili, a 9-0 guy that's not much of a fight, but yeah, good luck to see who's going to win that. Just, yeah. And then we're going to have Katie Taylor and Miranda Serrano in the AT&T Stadium in November the 15th. Also in that fight is going to be Mario Barreros taking on Abel Ramos, number 34 ranked fighter in the world. Good luck to that fight, how mismatch it will be. And then we'll have the WBO World Super Middleweight title against Shadasia Green taking on Melinda Watpool, the number 1 middleweight ranked fighter, considering she doesn't have much in the competition after Clarissa Shields left that division last year. So good luck to say who's going to win that vacant belt. But yeah, again, vacant nonetheless. We also have a women's international boxing WIBA belt, that's somewhat of a major belt, against Mari Casamassa on November the 15th. 5-0 taking on 6-2. Good luck if she takes on Dos Santos. Good luck for that fight in Pennsylvania on November the 15th. WBO World Cruiserweight title on November the 16th. Gilberto Ramirez will defend that against Chris Billam Smith, ranked number 2 in Cruiserweight. WBO World Minimum Weight title fight against Oscar Collazo versus Thamon Nyamchong and of course Nyamchong is the WBA super minimum weight champion. Oscar Collazo's WBO minimum weight. I'm gonna call that fight, and even though those two fights are gonna take place in Saudi Arabia, I'm gonna call it the mini Rumble in the Jungle fight. So I can't wait to watch that fight. That's going to be a fun fight. That's going to be one fight I'm going to stay tuned. Anyway. But anyway, back to my records. I'm just reviewing all the fights for November. I'm not going to do this all the time. WBO, no global, no, South Korean featherweight, WBC World and WBO Autumn Weight title against Iri Matsuda taking on Tina Ruperchet. I think Iri Matsuda, Japanese, is also the WBA, so that's going to be interesting to see that fight on November the 23rd, and also Baden-Württemberg, Germany. Uh, Man, I hate pronouncing these things. We also have an IBF fight against Samiri Yamanaka taking on Fabiana Paitiki. That's going to be one interesting fight on paper to see if you're a fan of lower ranked fights like that. I can't wait to see that fight. Good luck. I think Samiri Yamanaka is going to win that fight. Man. Is that it? Is that all? Is that all the fights for November? I think that is. And I think that's going to be the end of the podcast. WBC interim flyweight Sonny Edwards will fight against Galai Yafael on November the 30th in Resorts World Arena in Birmingham, West Midlands, UK. So stay tuned for that fight. And yeah, interesting. And mostly that's about it. Wait, is there any other interesting title fights in December that I did not know? IBF World Super Lightweight title against Liam Paro taking on Richardson Hitchens in Puerto Rico. Now that's one fight some fans might find interesting. Interesting. By the way, when's that? What about those that heavyweight title fight? When's that gonna take place? In December. There's the Naoya Inoue one. When's that one take place? December the 21st. Okay, and the Sam Goodman will take place 3 days after that fight, the 24th. Okay, so yeah, wow. Oh, dang! I did not know there was a lot of other crazy titles. Man, there's so many large titles happening. So much. There's a lot of international countries having their own titles in their country that it's, guys, when you look up information on BoxRec and know so much information, it gets your brain cooked. And man, oh man, I look up a lot of information that I don't think a lot of fans even want to talk about. That's how crazy I am. Oh boy. Guys, I kind of like this podcast. This has to be one of my best episodes because I get to sit back, and the last 10 minutes was just me talking about what titles are happening this November and a couple in December. So, yeah. Wow, that was great. Anyway, guys, hope you viewers enjoyed this episode. It was just calm, and I'm actually happy that I got through that. Whew. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and stay tuned because in the next few days I am going to try to review the next episode. So with that being said, Fox Wolf out.